Dogma here, and I'm just gonna come out and say it. I was recording this video for a little bit, and then my phone crashed, and I lost the recording. So yeah, we're doing a double take on this one. So I'm just gonna come out and say it. The app got updated today. At least I got the update today. It may have been updated yesterday. I don't know, because I was kind of not in the best headspace yesterday. So I was sleeping most of the day. But I'm just going to show you something, because the texture editor got updated. So take it, go here. As you can see down where this grid is, that's doing this. There used to be an option to press a button there, and you'd be able to scroll freely throughout the texture. Well, now the only way to do that is via touching this gray outside, and you can't even zoom in like that. Seriously, what on God's green earth? And you might be wondering, well, that doesn't seem like as big of a very big issue. Let me just take us over to... I skipped over it, I think. Where is it? There it is. Sorry, I'm in a quiet place right now, but there's a lot of windows, so my screen's kind of blurry. See how big this texture is? Yeah, you wouldn't be able to zoom in on that. And sure, it's a simple texture, so that wouldn't be a problem, but let's try one of the more complicated textures. Like the Tylosaur. In other words, you're screwed. Like, you are 156% screwed on that one. Because one thing that I really wanted to make for this add-on was one more Leviathan. And what did I want to use to make that Leviathan? The Nautilus. But if you see here... Well, I'm in 3D, but see, this is how the Nautilus is. I was going to make it look a lot more... I was going to change the colors on it. Good. Yeah, I can't. Heck, I don't think you can even do it. Okay, you might be able to pull it off with the baby. But one thing they did add, if I can find it... They added the tropical fish. It's broken. If it looks like this, it means you can't use it. But they did add the sulfur cube, which is kind of cute. He's just a little guy. But I want to show you some of the stuff I made since the last time we spoke. If I remember correctly, we left off on the decaying pike last time. As you can see, I've made some body horror mobs. Mind you, these are not skins I made myself. These are simply skins I found. But here, you see this one, Trifo? Let's go to 3D. This remind you of anything? Does it? Trypophobia, everybody. Pure trypophobia. The fear of holes. Well, that's dumbing it down a lot, but... See this? This is why I named him Trifo. I also made a mob called the Flesh Rammer. Let me show him off to you. Look at all this. Look at all this beauty. Here's the thing. The two horns there, the frill on his back, and the tail, those are not here normally. With the texture I used and edited to make this. I had to add those myself. And if you remember last time, I said I don't know how to use Blockbench. Yeah, in order to make these, I just filled in the planes on Blockbench by using that little bucket there above the eraser and below the stamp. And then went into the 2D and edited it from there. Still a bit complicated. Now, I also made something called some plants for the body horror biome. We got blood veins, nerve endings, an eye shrub. I even made a mob called a special mob. I made a corpse beetle matriarch, which is much bigger than the regular corpse beetle. And this uses the model in-game of the Japanese rhinoceros beetle. Which, no, there is not a Japanese rhinoceros beetle in Minecraft. This is under the custom mobs section. Then you remember when I said that thing about using planes to your advantage last time? Let's go into the block bench. I made something called a gore fly. And taking full advantage of the, thing, I made a gore fly, which looks like ribs and lungs, if you look at it like this. Then I also added some more gems. We made carnelian, sugarlight, red beryl, something I can't pronounce to save my skin, tourmaline. I also made a metal adamantine, which I made adamantine green, because in a lot of the add-ons I've played that include adamantine, it's either a gray color or a red color. So I made it green. Then I added rose gold. I added titanium, which you might be wondering, Dogma, what in frick's sake did you make the titanium blue for? Well, one of my favorite mobile games is a game called Hybrid Animals. And in that game, you want to know something? Titanium's blue. So not only did I not want to make all my real life metals that I add gray or silver colored, I decided to make titanium blue, not only because of that, but because I wanted to make a reference to a game I really like. Okay, yeah, I'm petty like that. And it's the same reason for tungsten. Because in a game I've played called Assassin's Creed Valhalla, when you get tungsten, it is a golden color. So that's why I made it like that. Then I also made plutonium, uranium, and polonium. You can get plutonium in the overworld, you can get uranium in the overworld and in the nether, but you can only get polonium in the end. Then I also made something called axonite, which is this color, which, if you remember last time, I mentioned I had an app called, well, not an app, I found a website that shows off real-life gemstones. Yeah, almost all of the gems I've added in this add-on are based off of real gems. I think only one or two of them aren't. Now, if you're a gem nerd like me, you might also recognize agate. Okay, agate. How do I say it? Well, I made it a stone. Then I also made more stuff for the body horror biome. Like, we got bone spurs, which grow like that. And if you look up here, you'll see that says create transparent. That means that the block itself is registered in-game as transparent. Because from what I remember last time, I said something about the, making the texture transparent usually doesn't work. This is an experiment. Which is why I also made a bunch of color, a stone out of each color of dye. And these are all transparent, but I also made a rainbow version. Then here's some more of the stuff I made, including a block called goldstone. Yes, I know it's ugly, but it's the best I could do. Not gonna show off the rest of these stones. Then here's more stuff for the biome, as well as a couple other things. So I made a scab block, a bloodworm. I also made blood jelly, an enamel block, that's supposed to be based off like a tooth. Made some plants like muscle fiber, bone roots, fang sprouts, and arteries. Then I also added a body fat block, which is also transparent. I made gray matter, which, for those of you who don't know, gray matter is the term for your brain tissue. If you hear someone talking about gray matter, they're talking about brain tissue. I also made a bloody skull to have just randomly lying around in there. I made bone marrow based off of an image I saw, which had like yellow and red in it. Ketchup and mustard in our bones. Then I also made a watch block, which like opens its eyes, looks around, and closes them again. Then if you look here at this ore here, the blood gem ore, yeah, I did some fiddling around with some of the ores, specifically flesh metal and bone metal, and made them gave them overworld versions, which are flesh based, like only found in the flesh biome, and then I also made nether versions, which I'll explain why I say overworld for the flesh stuff in a bit. But yeah, that's the rest of this is just the pre-made recipes for the ore. For some of the ores I made with the template. But first, I wish to show off some special stuff I made. So here we have a war cattle, which as you can see, very big, very nice. And mind you, all of my war creatures have very similar texturing, and they all have bright green eyes. So here's the war cattle. Then the war hawk, which is just reusing the vulture. And all of these are going to be at one point tameable. Warhog, which has baby version. Here's Big Mama. She's a big girl. And then here's the baby. Just a little cutie patootie. Look at the cutie patootie. Look how big that head. Please do not kill the baby. These war mobs will not drop food. Do not kill them. They are meant to be pets, not food. Now, regular pig, that is food. Warhog is not. Then here we have the warhound. Look at the cute little thing. So cute, so tiny, but so fierce. Ooh. Ooh. Look at them floppity loppity ears. Look at that little. Look. Okay, that's enough goofing around. Because now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode. We will be creating a biome. First, I'm going to show this. If you want to edit existing biomes, here's the stuff to do it, but we're making a new one. Now, here's the thing. Last time, if I'm remembering this correctly, I made it seem like you could, make biomes for all 3 dimensions. I only recently found out that this does not change. So instead of making flesh fields in the nether, we are making flesh caves in the overworld. And we are going to target, for this, sulfur caves and lush caves as the change. And we will make the noise frequency, because here's the thing, this amount here will show if the replacement is attempted. Then the noise frequency scale here means smaller will make it bigger, but occur less often. Higher will make it smaller, but occur more often. I'm going to set that to 10. Then in climate, here we have this, which I don't know what temperature does, so I'm just going to make it 8. Then here, this is like changing the sound. As you can see, nothing here that I want to use. So if we go here and switch this, oh, this ain't right. Stupid allergies. Ow. Let's actually ignore this. So we're going to go in here and click flesh. Then we're gonna take this and go flesh again. Because again, this is a cave. We want it to be all one homogeneous piece. And we're gonna make the seafloor depth like 20. Then for generation rules, this is where things get complicated. Gonna make the hill transformation, no, not deep dark, no. We'll make it into... Where is it? There it is. Then for the mutate, we'll go deep dark and deep dark and sulfur. For river transformations, we'll do dripstone and basalt deltas. Then for the shore transformation, we'll do all the cave biomes. And we'll leave this alone. Then we go to client biome. We'll make the addition something special. We'll make the addition just ambient cave. Then for the loop, we'll do a... This might take a minute. I'm not gonna lie to you. This might take a minute. Yeah, this doesn't give us a search option, so this could take a minute. Yeah, this could take a while. There are so many options here. We'll do that, and then for mood... Actually, hang on, let me read. What the freak do these even do? Alright, let's keep going. This could take a while, and who knows, I may find better sounds for this and change it off camera, but for now... Man, this is difficult to come up with. Yeah, we'll go with that for the moment. You know what? I've always found the credits music to be eerie, so we'll pick that. There we go. Then for sky color, we'll make that the sky color. There we go. That'll have to do for now. Save. And now for the fun part. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to add each block as for the Now, I'll most likely do the editing for these values off camera. I am going to show you me adding each of these blocks to the flesh cave. And if I have the time for it, I'll also add the mobs to the flesh cave today. So yeah, because this is going to take a while, but hopefully, once we get to it, because, yeah, this is going to get gross very quickly once it's actually rendered. I guarantee it. Yeah, like, because once I'm done with this add-on, I do plan on showing it to you guys. Like, it's the least I could do for you guys. Considering some of you have mostly sat through this, all watching this go down, and I know it's not the most entertaining, but still thank you guys for actually, listening. Because I know this can get repetitive and all. Next stuff. Because, yeah, this is going to be fun. Hopefully, once it's, fully done. At least that's the hope for all this. Because otherwise, this was a complete waste of my time. And a waste of your guys' time, for a matter of fact. This does not go in. This is for the nether. This stuff here is for the nether, I swear. Because, yeah, most of the editing for these blocks will be done off camera. Because I don't want it to take too long. Oops. But, yeah, this should hopefully work out just fine. But yeah, the mobs and the plants, I'm gonna do those off camera. Because, otherwise we're gonna be here for a very long time. I just realized how much stuff I've done off camera compared to on camera in these devlogs, so I may have to work on that. I just don't have much time currently to be doing this stuff. Like, I'll be honest with you, I don't got much time. Boom, flesh caves. Now, I actually have something separate planned for the enamel block. I really do have something special planned. This also goes in flesh caves. Okay. Which I know FallCraft only has one biome at the moment, but doing my best here. And I think the last two are the bone marrow. And the watch block. Now, one more thing for us to do. Mm-hmm. What's scatter chance do by chance? I haven't That'll work. Then you know what? One more thing. I want to check something. Alright, so let's go to plant. Indeed, it does work. There we go. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I hope you found this at least somewhat entertaining. So, have a good day, everybody.